Do you think it's possible to die and still remain alive? A review of the drama The Lovely Bones will give us the answer. The story takes place in 1973 in a small town in Pennsylvania. Susie is 14 years old and lives with her parents, her younger sister Lindsay, and her little brother in a big, cozy house. Her life could be called almost perfect. Susie recalls her childhood. A snow globe with a penguin, a camera she got for her birthday, a trip with her father, and the most terrifying memory of all, the day her little brother almost suffocated. She drove him to the hospital all by herself. Having stolen her parents' car, Grandma In predicted that Susie would live a long and happy life and she had saved her brother. But she was wrong. At the mall, Susie notices a handsome boy named Dre, who goes to the same school as she does. She really likes him, and her grandmother notices it. She tells Susie about her own first kiss. According to her, it became one of the best memories of her life. Susie has no idea that, at the same time, one of the neighbors is carefully planning her murder. He draws a map, digs something in the cornfield, and sharpens his knives. After watching the film Othello at the school cinema club, Susie unexpectedly meets Ray in the hallway. The boy asks her what she thought about the movie. Susie is completely flustered. Ray tells her she's beautiful and invites her on a date at the mall on Saturday. He wants to kiss Susie. It seems like dreams do come true, but at that moment something goes wrong. An enraged art teacher bursts into the hallway and scolds one of the students, Ruth, for her overly explicit drawings. He interrupts the two and sends them back to class. Looks like they'll have to wait until Saturday. On her way home through the cornfield, Susie meets her neighbor George Harvey. He wants to show her a hideout, an underground little house he built for children to play in. At first, Susie refuses, but Harvey manages to persuade her. Susie goes down into the underground house. It's quite gloomy inside. Strange toys, candles, drawings, angel figurines. Moreover, Harvey starts to get noticeably nervous. His anxiety spreads to Susie. More than anything, she wants to get out of there, but Harvey won't let her. He gives her a soda, takes off his jacket, and suggests she do the same. Harvey tells Susie that she's pretty. She is very scared. She tries to climb the stairs, but Harvey grabs her and drags her inside. Susie kicks him in the face and escapes. She runs through the cornfield, then along a forest path, passing the girl Ruth, who had been scolded by the art teacher the day before. Meanwhile, Susie's parents are frantic, searching for their daughter. Her father runs through town with her photo. Her mother contacts the police. Susie hurries home, but something happens. Something very strange. The world around her becomes unreal. She sees her father. She screams "Dad," but he neither sees nor hears her. Susie runs home, calling for her parents. She hears her mother talking to the detective and realizes no one notices her. The girl is haunted by terrifying visions. Dirty, blood-stained clothes scattered everywhere. A man's body in the bathtub. A broken sink covered in blood. Susie's bracelet on the sink. It seems she's starting to suspect something. At that moment, the man in the bathtub rises. It turns out to be Harvey. Susie starts screaming. In the next scene, detectives find the hat Susie was wearing the day she disappeared. It had been buried in the cornfield. The police also found traces of blood, a lot of blood. The parents are in hysterics, yet still believe their daughter is alive. Meanwhile, Harvey destroys the evidence, burns his clothes, cleans everything, and hides the bloody shoes. A detective visits him but finds nothing suspicious. Susie feels life leaving her, but she isn't afraid. Then she remembers that she has one unfinished task left on. She never went on a date with Ray. Instead, Ruth goes to Ray one day. The girl gives him a sheet of paper with the poem she found in the forest the day before. He is very surprised as Ray had written this poem for Susie. Ruth believes Susie is still here. It turns out that as Susie left this world, her soul touched truth, and since then Ruth has felt her presence. Susie is in a beautiful place between worlds. Yet she signals her father that she is still here, despite the spirit of another dead girl asking her to move on and not look back. Susie is not ready for that yet. She wants to return home. She watches her killer and realizes he will keep killing again and again. The most terrible part is that Harvey starts stalking her younger sister Lindsay. Will she become the next victim of the murderer? Susie's father begins his own investigation. He is sure his daughter is very smart and would never go anywhere with a stranger. Therefore, the criminal must be someone Susie knew. The father asks the police to check all neighbors, especially those acting strangely. But there are no leads. The investigation into the murder hits a dead end. The problem is that the girl's body was never found, as Harvey hides it in a safe in his basement. 11 months pass. Susie's mother still deeply mourns her daughter and, following her mother's advice, moves to California, where she starts a new job. Grandma Lynn moves in with the Salmons and looks after the children. She is very cheerful and modern, and does not let the grandchildren feel sad. With her around, the children genuinely appear happy, yet they can't forget their sister and constantly feel her presence. Lindsay gets a boyfriend. Susie watches their first kiss and feels sad that she will never experience something like that. Susie constantly watches Ray. He often thinks about the deceased girl but spends more and more time with Ruth. Soon, Ruth and Ray start dating. Susie's father gradually develops the photo film she once took, and on one of the photos he notices Harvey. He decides that this man must be Susie's killer. He goes to Harvey and tries to attack him, but Harvey hides in his house. The detective reminds him that the police have no evidence of his guilt. But Susie's father feels Harvey is involved in the murder and decides to take revenge himself. One day, seeing Harvey walking toward the cornfield, Susie's father chases him with a baseball bat. He frantically searches for Harvey in the tall crops, but accidentally attacks a young couple and gets badly beaten. The man miraculously survives. Susie blames herself for what happened to her father. She realizes that no matter how much she loves her father, she has to let him go. Meanwhile, Harvey feels a new urge to kill. His target becomes Lindsay. Meanwhile, Susie in her own world learns that she was far from Harvey's first victim. Before her, he had already killed several girls. The youngest of them was only 6 years old. Susie comes to Harvey's house and remembers that her body is still in the safe in the killer's basement. Meanwhile, the town goes about its normal life. Only Lindsay constantly feels anxious. She notices that their neighbor, Mr. Harvey, is always watching her and begins to suspect him. Lindsay sneaks into Harvey's house and finds a notebook where he kept a diary of Susie's murder. It details the plan of the crime and even contains a lock of Susie's hair. Lindsay is horrified. At that moment, Harvey returns home. She realizes she is in great danger and jumps out the window. Harvey tries to chase her but fails. Lindsay runs home and sees that her mother has returned. Not wanting to ruin the happy reunion of her parents, she says nothing to them and gives the killer's diary to her grandmother. The police arrive at Harvey's house, but the man has already escaped and even dumped the safe with Susie's body in a pit on the outskirts. At that moment, Ruth and Dre spot him, and Ruth realizes this is somehow connected to the missing girl. In the world between, Susie meets the souls of other murdered girls. They invite her to join them in heaven. She feels ready, but decides to return one last time. On Earth, she has one unfinished task. Susie enters Ruth's body to experience her first kiss with Ray. Kissing Ruth, Ray sees Susie in front of him and tells her again that she's beautiful. The girl smiles happily. Peace gradually returns to Susie's family. Her parents have gone back to their normal lives, and Lindsay is expecting a child. And her lovely bones, a new life begins no less beautiful than her own once was. But what about Harvey? Did he really manage to escape justice? Fortunately, no. The man moves to another town and one evening sees a girl smoking alone in a deserted place. Harvey offers her a ride, but she rudely refuses and walks away. At that moment, a huge icicle falls on Harvey, and slipping, he plunges off a steep cliff. Susie's mother enters her daughter's room and says that she loves her. Susie realizes that she's finally ready to go. The girl is grateful for her beautiful, though short, life and wishes everyone a long and happy one. What do you think? Can such an ending be called a happy one? Did the producers manage to tell a sad story while still leaving the viewer with hope for something better? Or was this film made simply to make us shed a lot of tears? Share your thoughts. Be sure to leave a like if you enjoyed our review. Subscribe to the channel and confidently hit the notification bell. Ahead, we've got plenty of great reviews of the best films waiting for you. Stay with us.